The Navi says in Amos, Perek Gimel, Pasuk Ches, Aryeh Sha'ag, Milo Yira. The lion roars. Who is not afraid? The lion's roaring. We're all about to stand very imminently in judgment. There's an impending court case. The lion is roaring. The lion is Hashem. Chodesh Elul. The fear is palpable, says the Shlach HaKadosh. That Aryeh is Rosh Tevis, Aleph is Elul, the Reish is Rosh Hashanah, the Yud is Yom HaKippurim, and the Hey is Hoshana Rabbah. Aryeh, on these days, the lion is roaring. There's a lot to be afraid about. However, there's a tremendous misconception, and that is that Yiddishkeit is about fear, that it's a fear-based and fear-driven religion, which couldn't be further from the truth. And this perception has impaired and has stifled so many people in Avodas Hashem and growing as a true Torah Jew. Yiddishkeit is about love. And the Torah HaKadosh is replete with references of the fact that Hashem has a love for us and how we have to love Hashem. As a matter of fact, the Heilige Reb Simcha, Meir Simcha Devinsk, the Or Sameach, in his Meshech Chachma, he points out something fascinating. A lot of us view Yiddishkeit as restrictive, based on limitations and regulations and confinement. A lot of those shall nots, a lot of commandments that seem to really restrict us and regulate us. And it seems that the very first tzivoy that the Rebbeinu Shalom gives generic man, the world, is a no, don't do this. Me'etz hadas toivara, loy soichel, don't eat from that tree. Says Rav Meir Simcha, that's not true. The very first tzivoy that the Rebbeinu Shalom gives the world, gives to mankind, is mikol eitz hagan ochel soichel. Rebbeinu Shalom says, I'm giving you everything. You have everything at your disposal. I want you to enjoy. I want you to have pleasure. I want you to live it up. I want you to taste from the delectable, succulent, delicious fruits. The Yerushalmi Kedushin says that we're all going to stand accountable for the pleasures that we deprived ourselves of. Says in Meshech Chachma, we want pleasure, and the Rebbeinu Shalom says, I want you to have pleasure. I'm showering you with pleasure. But remember, remember that unbridled love and too much pleasure without regulation is dangerous and will cause chaos and bedlam and mayhem and fatalities and casualties. You see, in order for society to thrive and function, in order for society to be sustained, we need rules. Think about it in terms of sports. There's umpires, there are referees and coaches that people have a natural almost aversion or fear of. But without that fear of these authorities, the game wouldn't be a game. Imagine playing basketball or football without rules. There would be no seat book. There would be no satisfaction. There would be no pleasure. It would just be chaos. Rebbeinu Shalom says, if you want to enjoy this world, and the world should be enjoyable and productive, and you should feel industrious, you should feel like you're accomplishing in this world, I need to make sure there are rules. And in order for that to happen, Es Hashem Elokecha Tira, you have to have an awe, a fear of Rebbeinu Shalom. And there has to be an Elul, which if you read Elul, it really also stands for Loi Kel. To him, there's a God, there's a force, there's an omnipotent force that one has to understand he's under the jurisdiction of. Says the Bnei Yissaschar that there are 24 days in which we petition the Rebbeinu Shalom with tachnunim, with bakashos, 24 days in Chodesh Elul. The other 5 days are the 4 days of Shabbos and Rosh Chodesh where we don't petition Hashem. Says the Bnei Yissaschar, 24 days comprised of 24 hours is 576 hours total, which is a gematria of tiku. Tiku b'chodesh shofar. Blow the shofar. There are 576 hours in Elul for us to draw close to God, to us to draw close to the Melech Malchei Amlachim, to the Kudsha Baruch Hu, to Ribbon Shalom. 576 hours of opportunity to say, you know what? I'm going to inject meaning. I'm going to do something special. I'm going to do something different. Says the Baal Shem Tov, Hashem Silcha, we say in Kapitel Tehillim. Hashem is your shadow. That means the Ribbon Shalom is shadowing us. However we behave to others, if we're kind to others, if we reach out to others, if we're sweet and noble and altruistic and generous and magnanimous to others, the Ribbon Shalom says, wait, I'm going to be sweet and kind to that person. If I see, says Ribbon Shalom, that you're taking interest in one of my children who needs the attention, who may feel deprivation, who may feel unattached or disenfranchised or disaffected, I'm going to take special attention in you. And that's what tzedakah really is. It says, Tshuva tfilu tzedakah ma'avirnas ro'ya gzeira. What does it mean, tzedakah? How could tzedakah destroy the decree against us? Says the Maharal that encoded and encrypted in the word tzedakah, tzadik daled kufay, 4 letters, all the halachos that tzedakah revolves around. For instance, tzedakah, tzadik daled kufay. In tzedakah, you have the letters kuf and you have the letters tzaddik. Aser to aser, we are mandated to give a tithe, to give meiser of our income, of our earnings. So says the Maharal that you have kuf, you have 100, make it into tzaddik. Take a 10th, and therefore there's only tzaddik left. That's in the word tzedakah. There's another halacha. The Gemara in Erech and Daf Chav Ches tells us that al yivazveis yoser mechomish. If you want to be somebody exceedingly generous, don't be more generous than giving away more than 1/5 of your assets, because you don't want to make yourself indigent or poverty-stricken. So take the hay and make it into a daled. Also letters in tzedakah, a hay and a daled. Take the hay, the 5, and make it into a 4, but not more than that. Don't give more than 1/5 away of your earnings. It's actually in Peah, Perek Ches, Mishnah Ches. It says, the halacha is that if a person has more than 200 zuz, he no longer qualifies for tzedakah. Only if he has 199. How fascinating is it that the word tzedakah is gematria 199, to illustrate and to depict the fact that if a person has more than 199, he's not qualified for tzedakah. And then, of course, the fact is the word tzedakah itself, the shorish etymology is tzedek, which means just. Rabban Shalom is saying, do what's right, even if it's hard for you to do what's right. It may be hard for you to reach out to somebody and to make somebody feel special and dignified and to ennoble and enable others, but that's what's tzedek, that's what's right. And it points out the Maharal that the letters in tzedakah, tzadik, daled, kufay, are all oisios, achiyos. They are brotherly letters. What does it mean, the brotherly letters? Because you have a daled and a hey in tzedakah, and you have a kuf and a tzadik, and these are letters that are juxtaposed one next to the other. He says because the objective of tzedakah is not only to reach out into your pockets monetarily, to give, but also from your heart, from your soul, to be there for other people, to walk in the street and be effusive, to radiate kindness and sweetness and happiness. Having makdim shalom l'chol adam. And these are letters of brothers. Because the dal and the hay and the tzaddik and the kuf, the objective of tzedakah, to be a persona, to be a personality that's out there for others, to make you into a brother of your fellow Yid, of your fellow Jew. The Vilna Gaon says something very intriguing. When it talks about tzedakah, it says, Loi sikboitz es yadcha. That's what Torah says. Loi sikboitz es yadcha. Don't make your hand into a fist. Don't clench your hand. Rather, pasayach tiftach es yadcha. Open your hand. Frank the Vilna Gaon, Gavaldige Kasha. The Vilna Gaon says, it's superfluous and redundant to say this. Why not just say, Pasayach tiftach es yadcha? Why does it have to say, don't make your hand into a fist, into a clench? It says the Vilna Gaon, because when you make your hand into a fist, do it. Do it right now. Do this little experiment. Make your hand into a fist. You'll see that all the fingers, kemat, look equal. The gradation level is almost leveled. It almost looks the same. But as soon as pasayach tiftach es yadcha, as soon as you open your hand, you notice that you could see it's very, very distinct. The difference in the size of each individual finger. Says the Vilna Gaon, that when somebody approaches you, when somebody needs help, when somebody reaches out to you, or if you're just out there in the world and you look at people and you say, we're all the same. I don't have to give that person special attention. I don't have to go beyond the confines of my own insular environment. It's okay. Says the Vilna Gaon, no, don't make a fist. Don't think you're all the same. Open up your hand, because we all have specific needs. We all need something different and special. I'll tell you, there was a woman that came to me, and she said her son is totally irreligious. Rahman al-Son, totally irreligious. She said, but my son's about to get married, and he came to me and he said, I want the rabbi from BGX to do my chasana and to teach me about the laws of family purity. And she was baffled. She was incredulous. She says, why? And he said, because every time he sees me, he doesn't even know me, but he says hello. That's leisik by setziyatcha. Don't judge others. We're all special. We all come from very unique backgrounds. And we don't know what others are experiencing or suffering. You never ever know. Pasach tiftach setziyatcha. We want a good gezar din. We want a good decree in Elul. We have to be caring and kind and sweet. And we have to be open-minded and open-hearted. And remember that Hashem tzilcha, Hashem is following every action that we do. And the schus of opening our hearts, of opening our pockets, of doing tzedakah, and making others into brothers. May we have a shnas bracha v'atzlacha and be blessed, be gebenched with a kesiva, the chesima toiva.